Hello everyone. So today I want to have a look at the dependencies and how we manage those dependencies in that same Refinery project. As an example, I'm going to focus on this specific submodule, the Refinery tools, because it's a very simple one. It has only two classes that are dealing with logs and configuration. So it should be a very simple module with very limited dependencies. But let's look at what we actually have. I have this Maven tab here. I find all of my modules. I find that Refinery tools, and I can show the diagram. And whoa, there's a lot. And what I can see, like, yeah, JUnit, that's expected. hadoop-common is he's pulling in a lot of transitive dependencies, and my suspicion is that I don't actually need all of those. Haven't analyzed dependencies here. That's not super useful at the moment, but I have another tool I can use to look at those dependencies. Here, if I run Maven projects to run just on a single module, I don't care about the rest, and dependency analyze, that's the dependency Maven plugin, that's going to tell me a little bit more about my dependencies. So it's running, success, and I can see I have a lot of used undeclared dependencies. So those are things I'm using in my code, but I'm not declaring an explicit dependency. I also have a number of unused but declared dependencies. For example, that's that hadoop-common I was mentioning before. I have declared a dependency, but I'm not using it in my code. So let's look at what this actually is. So if we are taking that first one, yoda time, if I search through the code, I do see I'm using it. So for example, in this config helper, I do have a dependency on yoda time, but if I look in my POM, I do a search for yoda, not there. Let's see if we can add that. So the order of dependency does not really matter. So anywhere here, I have yoda time. It's asking me for a version. We're using 2.10.8, 2.10.8. I'm going to keep the same one. I don't want to change anything. Now we realize those other dependencies, they don't declare a version number, and that's because usually we want to declare the version numbers in the parent POM. So here that would be this one. So I have a number of dependencies here. Do I declare? I don't declare yoda anywhere. So I have a dependency management section, not dependencies, or that's in a profile. So that's the standard dependency project, dependency management, dependencies. I'm going to add this yoda time with the version number. That's to ensure that all of the modules in this project are going to be using the same version of all those libraries. And that means that in my POM here, where's my yoda? Now I can remove the version here and it should work. Let's see if that looks better if I run my dependency analyze again. So I don't see yoda time anymore in the use but undeclared dependencies. Let's do the opposite as well. I see I declare args for j. I think so that's to parse arguments, command line arguments. I suspect this was used at some point in this config helper, but it's not anymore. So let's see if we can remove it and if the code still compiles. So Refinery tools, args for j. Here, okay, let's remove this. And now let's run a full compilation. Maven clean install on the full project. Let's see if it works. So I want to keep the dependencies explicit and minimal. I want to make them explicit because in my code, if I have a dependency that I use that is only declared as a transitive dependency, then I might change my dependencies for whatever reason, and suddenly that dependency is going to disappear because it's not a transitive dependency anymore, or that's kind of annoying. And even more, I want to keep them minimal. So if I introduce a new code dependency on a new library, on a new piece of code or something, I want to make sure it's explicit, so that when I add that dependency, I need to add it to my POM. And so I can review, as part of my code review, I can make sure that we're all in agreement that adding that dependency is okay, that I'm fine with increasing the scope of my dependencies. Okay, I do have a problem. That's a check style thing. Yeah, so my build is checking things that are not part of what I changed. So I suspect I have a profile somewhere that I can remove, or that should not be triggered. Okay, I'm gonna clean that up at some other point. I'll let you know if that actually fails, but the process is there. Okay, have fun.